Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lock Pod. We are the most dangerous podcast in the Midwest.
Indiana.
I made it.
Oh, you're moving it. We're bigger.
Yeah.
I like that.
We're shooting
you
for
seem
bigger
kind of
things.
subdued this morning on season 8, episode 8.
What am I supposed to do?
Well, I don't know. Usually you're criticizing
everybody,
me
welcome to Lock Pod.
Thank you.
My bad.
You were doing Kevin.
I'm back.
You know, you're doing the NPR voice. There
Hey,
got a buzz too.
don't forget Belgium.
Yeah, I did get and we are a Belgium-operated podcast. I did get a buzz.
I don't think I've ever seen your hair so long.
My hair was long.
Your hair was like
super long.
Yeah, it was like 80s long. I was like seeing like old pictures of you, and it kind of reminded me of your hair in that.
It looked fine when it was greased back, but when the gel would wear off, that's when my hair would stand on end. My hair was like a foot off my head.
Does it curl like when it's long?
Totally.
Yeah, it was
like
long.
On my ski trip, because I wasn't worried about my hair. I was around all the guys, and literally like my hair was sticking up the whole time.
It was like a flowing mane, though. I mean, you have a good head of hair.
I do.
You are lucky about that. 54 years old.
Yeah.
And almost 54.
I don't even have gray hair really.
No,
It's crazy. It's
a little bit of gray. There's some gray.
Little.
There's
But
some
like,
gray, but it's not. You're not losing it.
Considering I'm old or olden, middle age-ish,
You're not losing
young middle age, something like that.
Young middle age.
What's the threshold?
I don't know.
All the
It
McDermott
moves.
boys
It
do.
moves-
Aaron,
it moves
Brett, your
based
dad.
on how old you get?
I used to think 54 was old as shit. Now it's like, hey, it's not so bad.
What's wrong with 54? It's the new
54 is
34.
great. Yeah,
I mean, you're out there skiing at 54. Man.
I agree. I was freaking tearing it up at 54. I did 22,000 feet, I think, when we were gone, which is about 1,000 feet more than Kevin Chandler Smith. So
Yeah,
it was weird. How
Like
that
he's
worked
like,
out.
I'm gonna stay a little bit longer and ski, and then
I
next thing
didn't
you know,
look at
I
that.
get a text. I'm your bit, or Kevin, you're my bitch. I just beat you in
I would
vertical.
never ever talk like that. I would never talk like that.
He sends me a screenshot. It's like he stayed like 45 extra minutes just to get he probably raced up the runs.
I swear.
Hold
to God.
on, we're gonna leave in just a minute.
And
All right, I got him.
I just barely passed him.
I got him. Now we can go now.
No, I sent him a screenshot and says, "You're my bitch," and Kevin gets totally offended.
That's
right?
amazing.
I didn't get offended.
Like,
All I
Dude,
said
he
was,
he was like
I
arguing
said the
on
way
text.
I read this. It took you.
I'm not your bitch.
No, I said the way I
like
read
a
this.
4-page response.
He sent me like
Correct
this
grammar.
summary, and I was like, the way I read this, it took you 48 extra runs and more time to beat me. But
You know,
okay.
Kevin like put together a legal argument, and like all of his clients are probably waiting for legal services while he's like arguing with me about
I can
Whether I'm your
actually
bitch
see
or
that.
not.
Yeah. People are sitting in court like twiddling their thumbs, like, "Where's my lawyer?"
It's like,
Hey,
wait a minute.
I was talking with Pete last night while we were playing a video game.
We'll talk
And,
about.
Well, we were playing a video game.
No, he. No. We were talking. We were reliving the trip, and Pete thinks your Apple Watch might be off or something because he
Oh.
was talking about this. You burned a lot less calories
Yeah.
supposedly than he did.
Right?
What's the deal?
Because I don't work as hard as Pete does when he's skiing.
Wow.
I think that's.
Oh.
Wow.
I think that's
Suck
fair.
it, Pete.
No, it's the truth. I'm
You're
not trying
also
to
his
be a dick.
bitch, Pete.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, because
Who else is on the bitch list?
Yeah, this is not the name of the show. Like, this is not the name of the show. Freaking John will come out. You're my,
You're
No.
my bitch, featuring Matt Money Smith.
yeah, right. That's another thing. We have to think about our guests when we
That's
name
right.
the show.
I know.
But I'm going to tell you why. Pete burns way more calories than I do because I have proper technique. And really, the only thing that's burning on me is my legs. Like when you fall or when you're still like trying to learn like Pete is, skiing is brutally hard. You're freaking tired as hell when you get done. Like with me, my legs are tired. I'm tired. But it's like a good jog, basically, for me. When Pete gets done, his body hurts. He's pushing up when he falls, stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
and Pete was working hard. I mean, he got a lot
John
better.
Cantrell, too. John
Yeah, oh
Cantrell.
God. Those
Dude,
guys were
those guys
sweating.
Dude, they're exhausted when they're done because
Yeah,
it's a whole
just
different
learning
game.
because they're learning.
Right.
And
Like
they're
when
working their
I
legs hard.
a couple last year when I went to Boynton, the skiing was horrible, and I'm Kevin and I are both pretty good. So like, if the skiing's horrible, I'm not going to go. If there's only a few runs open, I'll be bored in 10 minutes. So I decided I'm going to snowboard, and I got my ass kicked because I don't know how to snowboard, and I was burning calories like crazy that day. So my Apple Watch isn't off. It's just skiing for me is easier. Now if I was out west, it would be a lot harder for me. But
agree.
at Boyne, I do that on Tuesday. So.
Yeah, I think it just has to do with and Pete's getting his technique down. He's working hard. He actually improved a significant amount.
He did. He was totally skiing with
And
us.
he,
On the last day,
but
he
you're
was
working your
skiing
legs
with us.
harder because you're trying to, you're kind of maintaining your speed. You don't have the confidence under your legs yet, and so you're just working hard.
So don't be talking about my Apple Watch in your freaking little video game sessions, all right?
Let's talk about Tom.
Yeah, you guys sit there talking about me.
I
You
know.
have to
How does
take a
that make
time
you
out
feel?
when you do that, or how
I
does
know,
that
I
work?
right?
think it should make you feel weird.
You know, I think Tom's Apple Watch is off, and then John's like, "Yeah, he's a fucking asshole."
And did you
isn't
see
he?
his head of hair? Did you see his head of hair? It's like a flowing
He
mane.
looks like an asshole with his haircut.
Yeah,
You know, like
between your hair and your watch. And,
Oh man.
Do you flip people off though? Now that you can, if you're snowboarding, you don't have anything in your hands, right? Or you just going past Kevin and flipping him in the bird? And
no, he's
stuff,
not.
or-
He's not snowboarding. He's skiing.
I ski, yeah.
But didn't you say you snowboarded?
But that one time I did
Oh, just
because
one
it was
time.
brutal.
Full
But,
rights a border, huh?
but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm fast, but my brother Brett, holy crap.
Remember that run? That first run, I was like, Brett, he looked almost a little out of control. I thought he was going to go down.
Oh God.
I was like, whoa.
He was going like 50, and it didn't look like
Oh, my
a confident 50. It was like, oh crap.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
He would have. I was like, dude, like
Don't-
you look like you're gonna fall. Like, you're
I was
going
worried.
really fast.
I was worried about him.
But I'm always
But he
usually
got it.
one of the faster, but not on this trip. Brett was bombing down, man. He was
Yeah.
bombing down.
I'm not.
He's smaller than you though, right? Like
Yeah, he's
you're
younger.
more like
He's-
compact,
Yeah, 16
You know.
years
Sure.
younger too, by the way.
less wind
Mhm.
resistance.
16 years
and-
younger, which
yeah.
is a lot.
16 years younger to take a fall.
He has a nice head of hair too.
He does.
Oh,
have a
yeah.
nice head of hair. Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey,
that was,
I
that
wanna
was probably
say-
a topic last night too for John.
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Brett's so much better than Tom. Like,
Compact. And look at that head of hair.
yeah, he doesn't look like it. By the way, I want to say thanks to Mayor Dave Uran and Greg Falkowski and Larry, the
Larry the
guy.
pickleball king.
Larry the pickleball guy.
really
and
good.
I want to thank them for filling in for us on Tuesday. It was a great show. And
Thanks for the swag.
yeah, man,
we
that's
got some
awesome.
Really cool.
I got a really nice golf shirt too. Super cool.
South
So,
Shore. What does
I'm
it
gonna
say?
bust it out when it's appropriate. It says South Shore. And
Nice.
the rest of it's small font that I can't read without my glasses. So.
It was and Chris. Thank you, Chris.
And
Oh
Chris.
yeah, Chris Campbell,
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Chris.
producer.
It's important for the future of the show for us to get a mental break, right, Joe? So we all like, oh,
Yeah, this
Joe
is
gets a mental
taxing.
break. This is taxing. But like we all like got a little break away, and
Yeah.
And
Came
Chris
back with
hasn't
some
been
new
on.
material.
He hasn't been on in a while, so we met up here before we went out of town. Showed him the ropes again, and thank God because were any of us up at
I was.
No.
7:30?
I was at work.
I turned it on to watch. Yeah, I turned it on live and watched a little bit.
You did?
Yeah.
I got up and walked into the big room where all the guys were staying. I stayed in my own room, but broken chair, by the way. It's gonna be a couple
What
hundred
you
that's
get
bucks.
gonna
charged for
cost
that?
you?
I'm gonna get charged for that. You don't just break chairs and freaking Boyne's like, it's whatever.
I
you
saw
know?
that happen.
You were right next to him,
Oh.
right?
We were sitting. Yeah.
Oh, my
I know.
God.
It literally just broke.
Yeah,
it was
that's
no foul play.
Right.
No, I swear.
Right.
No
No,
foul
no,
play.
for
No, no,
real.
no. It
No
was-
foul play.
shenanigans?
No foul
It
play.
literally broke.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe like leaning back, but that was it.
Hey, we got a great show for you today, everybody. We have Matt Money Smith is going to be on. We taped the broadcast on Saturday. It's going to be aired live right after we get done. It was a great interview, I do want to say. We talked, everybody knows Kevin's brother Matt Money is the voice radio commentator for the Los Angeles Chargers. Kevin and I got into detail with him about
All kinds of stuff.
how it felt after
Oh,
the
yeah.
Chargers blew 27-point lead in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
kind of like a really interesting inside view of the collapse of the Chargers and kind of that day. And it, I mean, obviously sucked for Matt and for all the Charger fans
They
around. But
blew a 27-point lead.
yeah, it's interesting to hear about kind of his take on it.
And that was the end of the season, obviously, because it's
Yep.
the playoffs. So we got to talk to him about that. Because when we were talking to him, he was literally supposed to be in
Yeah, he was on his way
Jacksonville or
to. Yeah, he should
No,
have been on
Jacksonville
his way
beat
to
him.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Instead, he was with us on Lockpod.
On his way to Bloomington to do the IU game.
And then, so we got to talk to him about California. We continued the California Bash tour about the homeless situation.
Yeah,
And
that was an interesting take.
by the way, Matt grew up Democrat.
I would say, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He grew up Democrat.
He's a moderate Democrat or a moderate Republican, whatever.
Yeah, he considers
He
himself
flows.
to be independent, is what he
Good.
said. So
I think you're
that's-
going to find out that Kevin's younger brother has a conservative streak in him when it comes to what's going on in California, right?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to hear somebody who has lived. I mean, he's lived 19 years in the region and 31 years in California. So he's
lived in
a California guy.
He
so
lived there longer than I did.
he is.
And we like reversed, high fived on the way
right?
across
Yeah.
the country.
Think
He's
about
50?
that. He's 50 this year. This year he's 50. Yeah,
looks good
looking
for
good,
50.
right?
He does look good.
So
Kevin, you got to no. I'm
right?
kidding.
I know.
Wow.
Sad but true.
Yeah, he like surfs.
California
Yeah.
living. Well, that's another thing, right? So a couple things. One, you're going to hear about his perspective on California and what he's seen over 31 years, and gets into the things that Tom talked about.
Yeah, it feeds right into what we've been talking about a lot this season, which is what's going on with the homeless situation in California and how it's being basically ignored by the elected leaders.
And then Tom had a really good conversation with Matt about surfing and sharks. So
yeah,
that's good.
Because that scares the shit out of me. Like, I don't like, if I was out there, I would feel like as soon as I got on my first surfboard, I'd go out and I'd wait for a wave and a shark would bite my leg off.
Yeah, we're going to get you out there with Matt.
I would love that.
We're going to do it.
I would keep my legs up.
And that would be a great vlog, John.
Yeah.
It'd be an awesome
Matt
vlog.
and Tom on surfing.
We'll
Oh
put
my God.
we gotta
GoPros
do
on their
that.
heads,
Yes.
or chests.
Sounds
or
like a
whatever.
Yes.
lock trip coming up.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
Can
right.
I actually get invited to that one?
Yeah, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely.
We'll get you on a
Sure.
surfboard.
Yeah.
No, hard pass on that. but-
What's
Yes.
going on with Steve?
Well,
I heard we're having a store open up, Lockpod store.
Oh
This is
yeah,
true?
yeah.
Rumor?
So actually, last night I was at dinner and ran into the person that is helping us get Lockpod swag up.
So people could buy our stuff.
people are gonna get some. There's gonna be hoodies, T-shirts, some other swag available.
We should
So
start with us so that
Look
we
out.
can wear Lockpod stuff.
I agree. That's what Steve's gonna
For
do.
God's sakes, I'm wearing.
I know. It's nice, but it's not.
We got
Lockpod
Lockpod
swag.
Lululemons. That'd be really.
I don't
cool.
think so. Let's go one step at a
Wow.
time. One step at a time. But
right.
there should be some swag in the near future. Some Lockpod swag, which
On
would be great.
lockpod.com.
And I know there have been
Lockpod.com.
Is
Do
that
we
right?
own that?
I
That's
mean,
what
we
the
own
store's
that,
gonna be,
yeah.
Hell yeah,
Oh,
dude!
wow.
That was awesome. That's gonna be worth millions one day. Okay,
Hundreds.
tens of
I
thousands.
agree.
Hundreds.
Tens of thousands.
I'm gonna go with hundreds.
just try to break even in.
Yeah, just
But I do have.
$281.
So Steve, 2 challenges. 1, get our swag up. We're waiting for it. 2,
Let's go, Steve.
I ran into something
Yeah?
this last week, and I was like, why? How could Steve have missed this?
Okay. Oh,
I
man.
figured
Because
out
Steve is making 6 figures being our business manager.
at least 2 figures. But
Dude,
I
I know when we were in Michigan,
Yes.
Steve is like contemplating Lockpod paying for a meal, and I'm like, how
Wow.
much freaking money do we have in Lockpod?
We
there,
not,
big
I
guy?
told him we have none based on what our expenses are this year coming up. So
because we got sued one time, and Kevin clamps down on
that's
all
it.
spending.
No spending
One
allowed.
defamation lawsuit. That's it. No more meals in Michigan.
These are important. These are important costs. But no, there's award shows for everything, right? Emmys, RTV. You got the Tonys for
Yeah.
theater. You
Yeah.
got the what else? We got Grammys for music, Oscars for
Oscars,
movies. So,
What's radios?
I don't know what radios
The
is,
Tonys?
but
No, that's Tonys is theater.
I always thought it was theater. Yeah, I don't know what radios
Oh,
is.
you know
but
what? Howard Stern bitches about that all the time.
there, believe it or not, there is a podcast award show.
I
we
am
win?
sure we are about to win something. I
You're
am
at least
positive.
nominated.
Hell yeah,
Steve would have
Lockpod.
made
At
them
least
aware of
nominated.
Dude,
it.
we got 8 seasons under our belt.
Yeah.
We're
thought
pioneers.
Dave Uran's joke about that at the start of the last show. He's like,
Yeah.
it hasn't been 8 years. How do they have 8 seasons?
Shut up, Dave.
Look at this.
So
You're
these
not
are called the
kidding.
Ambies.
Season
Look at this.
8.
Throw this up, John.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Now,
it looks
lo-
like an Oscar.
The Ambies. Look at that great award. Could you imagine putting that right here
Oh.
in the
We
middle
could
of our
put that
studio?
on some swag too.
Oh my God, we would probably do a whole separate shelf for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
or a shelf.
A
not
shelf, just
Let's
one,
start- let's
its
start with
own
one.
shelf for the Ambi.
So it says the awards for excellence in audio, and then John, read what's right
We
below
are
that.
excellent in audio. This is right up our alley.
Read what's right below the awards for excellence
What's
in
that?
audio.
The entry period for the 2023 awards is now closed! Exclamation mark.
We didn't even hear about
Way to go,
this?
Steve.
Maybe we're in it, and Steve's going to surprise us.
Oh, that's got to be
So,
it. Hey,
I-
where's the show?
It's in Vegas.
Yeah, look
Are
at
you
this.
freaking kidding me?
Hosted by Larry Wilmore.
We missed a freaking awards show for podcasts in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And we've been on for 8 freaking
We should
seasons.
just crash it.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be
Let's just show
Lockpod
up.
Jill.
crashes it. Although it may only
I
be
like the way
online.
Jill thinks.
It might be only like
And
Let's
then we
just go
can
out in
just
front.
go to California from
We'll
there.
just do a live podcast from
Yeah,
out in front
from
of
the podcast
the
show.
Ambi.
from the podcast awards
I love
Yes.
it.
That we're
I
not part
love
of.
It.
Yes.
I
You want to
love
get
it.
on their radar?
from the Ambies.
We'll do a friggin' podcast from the Ambies.
I love it.
Live.
Oh.
By the way,
So-
cheap way to get a free trip to Vegas.
Yeah.
Right?
Cheap way to get attention from the Ambies.
Yeah.
Dude, and not only
Yeah.
that, we got Lockpod has got to be loaded after 8 seasons.
No.
We got hundreds of thousands.
We don't have.
in our.
We should drive.
Do we get
Take the
mileage?
Amtrak.
Yeah, no, we don't get
No
mileage.
mileage?
This is what the Ambie says. The Ambies celebrate excellence in podcasting.
We are excellent.
And elevate awareness and status of podcasts as a unique and personal medium for entertainment, information, storytelling, and expression.
Every word you just said, I think Lockpod qualifies.
I agree.
What the hell? We're not even in this thing?
We're not even a member of the Podcast Academy.
What
That's
does it
step
take?
one.
What I mean, how many damn seasons do we have to do before we're going to get signed
We
up
need
for
a
this?
business manager to nominate us.
I mean, we
he's-
can start season 9 next week. You know, like, that could be Tuesday.
All about the Ambies. March 7th,
Hell,
John.
Joe, let's just call it season 9.
Look
Absolutely.
at that. They'll be held at the International Theater in Las Vegas on March 7th.
You know what?
It's coming up.
I feel disrespected.
I don't. I feel like we didn't even get nominated.
That's why I feel disrespected.
By who?
By our business managers.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like
I thought
pure
you meant like
neglect.
by the Ambies.
Pure neglect, man.
No, we need to get on the radar.
Taking him on ski trips. He's not even signing us for the Andes.
Ambies.
Ambies.
Yeah, we didn't name right.
Where did that name
Andes?
come
Ambies.
from? It's like ambient.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe
Good
ambient.
Put you to sleep or what?
Ambient? Like
Sleep
ambient noise?
is a sleep word.
Are we just ambient
the
noise?
most boring podcast makes you sleep. The ambience.
Well, hopefully the Ambies will have like a best regional podcast or best, local podcast. We could fit.
I don't know what we are.
I think there should be like we're best live podcast.
Oh, on the live end. Yeah, we don't.
There
take-
isn't that. Like we
By the
are
way,
unique
thank
in that
you,
way.
John.
Yeah.
That is great. Best live podcast.
That's yeah.
It
it's like
takes
our own
courage to do
award.
it. I can say some stupid shit right now. My whole career
You've
is
said
over.
some in the past.
I have said a lot of
That's-
stupid shit. They just haven't found it. There's 8 seasons. How are you
Good
gonna,
luck.
So good luck. It's like a gold mine.
Yeah.
In there's a nugget that'll ruin my entire career. Good luck.
All right, let's do ads. We still have a couple things to do before we get to the interview. So we'll do
pre-recorded,
some ads.
the not
and
It's a
live.
pre- yeah.
The
Matt,
not live
we got
interview.
Matt Money Smith waiting. He doesn't have all day waiting for us.
just after we said we should win the best live podcast.
No,
All right.
you're freaking no. What about election shenanigans?
That's what I'm saying. Let's do ads and come back.
Oh, okay. We'll do
Yeah.
that.
And real quick, shout out to our
happening?
chat, best live chat podcast.
Oh,
Right?
without
Hell,
a doubt.
yeah, chat. You're going with us to Vegas. Steve's paying for everybody. It's great.
Maybe Belgium has some
So-
Ambies, and we can win there.
Belgian Ambies.
Oh, can we go there too? Can we go protest there?
Belgian
no
Ambies.
protest.
Maybe
We're
that's
going to
the
win
title.
there.
Belgian Ambies. It
That's
sounds
the
like a
title.
disease.
John, Steve, look into
The
that.
Belgian Ambies. That is a good title. It sounds like a really itchy rash. The Belgian Ambies. You're like, oh my god.
Calumet Brewing.
I got the
that?
Belgian Ambies.
Oh.
Wait,
God.
wait.
Time. What? Oh,
Speaking
wait.
of
No
chat,
care.
Connie says, "Hi, Lindsay. How are you?"
Hey, Lindsay.
I think this is an ambient show.
Yes, very,
Just
very
white
ambient.
noise.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Calumet Brewing. It's time to experience Michelob Ultra with only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and 4.2% ABV. It's the perfect way to start the new year and keep those resolutions in check. Whether you're a pro athlete or a daily step counter, the journey is only worth it if you enjoy it. That's why Michelob Ultra brews a light lager that's worth every single sip. So no matter if you're kicking back after a workout or just enjoying a day out on the slopes, you're sure to enjoy a great beer. Head over to Cal Brew or the Michelob Ultra website and social media pages for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
By the way, I think you're right, John. Live podcast, best live podcast. That's our little niche there.
Okay.
Powering
Thank
America. I just thought about that.
You were thinking.
I think it's great. Powering America. Are you looking for a new career in 2023? If you're a person who enjoys working with your hands in a challenging and ever-changing environment, an electrical apprenticeship might be for you. Earn a competitive wage while you gain valuable experience. Did we mention employer-paid benefits, including health insurance, pension, annuities? If so, visit apply697.com. That's APPLY697.com. POW! Sponsoring by Powering America.
Hey,
Jill.
this ad's brought to you by not Lindsay McDermott. Hey, Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family trust, the best in the business. Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 54 years. Almost as long as you've been alive, Mayor.
Wow.
That is
Accurate.
literally.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Providing.
I think John Rogers is about our age.
That's crazy.
So
Wow. They provide quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's rogersroofing.com, 219-933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Misprint Printing. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions and metal business cards. Rick Baltensberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. There it is. They have 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and their new updated location in Hammond.
Byway Brewing. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outside patio. Our brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private events like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer.
All right. Thanks to our sponsors.
Thanks to our sponsors.
So one of the things we've been really enjoying talking about is what Mayor Tom has described as election shenanigans based on some really funny, well, maybe not funny, but nicknames that people have chosen to go on the ballot. We explained last episode that Indiana law allows you to file with a nickname. If your nickname is Thomas, you could put yourself down as Tom, for example.
Like, why wouldn't Dave Werple, who's been on the show.
Dave the mailman.
Yeah, man, right?
He could, but
that would be perfect. Dave the
he
mailman
could, but
Werple.
like,
he would.
It's usually
he should
not a thing
refile.
in Hammond. I've
But
noticed.
like, it's obviously working for people. Or is
well,
it?
is it?
We're gonna follow these. We're gonna
so
follow.
cringy.
We're gonna follow these candidates.
is-
I want to see if the hitman wins in Gary.
All right.
It's the same like when people do that on Facebook with their name. It's like blah
Yeah.
blah blah. God's chosen one. Whatever
Right.
their
That's
last
chosen
name.
one. Really? That's a lot of
Unfriend.
pressure.
That's
Unfriend.
John's on
That's a
Twitter.
lot
I
of
think that's
pressure.
John's on
If you're
Twitter.
God's chosen one on Twitter, yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
So you found some really good ones, by the way.
I'm gonna keep on following these candidates.
This could be the best yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the hitman was good. Some dude in Gary with the
Yeah,
nickname
that
the
one was
Hitman.
good. I'm not-
Unfortunately, Gary's got a reputation as a somewhat violent city, and when you call yourself the hitman, unless you're a boxer, I don't think that's a positive thing. I don't think it's going to help you get elected.
So let's see where we're
A lot
at
of
here.
coaches, we noticed the other day, a lot of people call themselves coach, but I found one. He's running for mayor of the city of Hobart. His name is Gary France. His nickname, Gary the Polak France.
Oh.
I have an
Trying to-
issue with this one.
Yeah?
I was going to ask you,
Spelled
Jill,
wrong,
as a gal with a Polish last name, Gajewski, how does a Polish woman like Gary France using the Polak as his nickname?
Listen, I don't know this man, but I feel like if you're going to use the Polak, your last name needs to have a ski at the end.
Yeah, right?
So-
Gary France the Polak.
Maybe
He's
it
trying
would-
to-
I mean, I'm sure he's Polish.
He's cornering the Polish and the French vote with one name.
Well,
Gary
Odd
France.
combination.
Yeah, right.
Gary
He's going
the
for the
Polak,
European Union.
France. All right, what else you got?
All right, so let's see if he's running for mayor of Hobart as a Republican. Let's see if the Polak wins. I like that. All right, we have found another coach running for Highland.
What?
So
Fifth coach.
another coach. There's a lot of coaches running. Alan Coach Simmons running for clerk treasurer of Highland. So-
All right, we'll follow you along. Alan
Okay.
Coach Simmons. Coach Simmons.
Oh, I like this one. How about this? How about like the nickname of a popular utensil?
Okay.
Like we've had, right?
Like the fork.
Mitch the Blade.
Oh, there you
you go.
right.
Mitch Daniels, our
but
former
he didn't
governor.
put that on.
His nickname was the Blade. He never put it on. They just called him the
See,
Blade.
and he
So,
won.
right? So if I was gonna go with utensil, I would be like, I'd go with like knife, right? Cut
I
you.
don't know.
I'll
Wait,
cut you,
why did they
right?
call him the Blade?
the Blade?
'Cause
Mitch,
he
was a cutter.
He was the
budget
head of
cutter.
the.
He was a cutter?
He was the head of
He
OMB.
was a cutter. He had
He was-
problems.
Breaking news.
He was the head of OMB under the Bush administration. And
Wait,
he
what's
was
OMB?
Office of something in budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And,
Oh, I got
and
you. I'm with you now.
he
Okay.
would, he cut
Yeah,
the budget.
gotcha.
So it's
So
good.
he was the Blade.
Fiscal cutter.
But this guy's
Gotcha.
going with another utensil, the spoon. His name-
Weatherspoon.
I mean, that makes
Carl,
sense.
Carl the Spoon
Weatherspoon
Weatherspoon.
Jr. Carl the Spoon Weatherspoon.
And right below him, District 6, Dwight A. Twin.
Twin Williams.
Boom.
Dwight A.
Twin-
Twin Williams.
He's just known as
Is
Twin.
it Win with Twin?
Win with Twin. See,
Aha.
boom.
See, Jill, you got
The
a
first
future in
one's
this.
free.
Carl the Spoon Weatherspoon. Maybe it's his last name, not just his favorite utensil.
So let's see if these win. So we're following a lot of coaches. We're
The
following
spork.
the hit. We're following the
Yeah, the
hitman.
spork.
The spork.
That's great.
So anyway,
Is
Hey.
this a new thing, guys? You've been in politics.
no.
No.
Have you seen this
No.
many
Yes, not-
nicknames?
Depends on
That's a
where
lot.
you're talking. Like when you're talking urban cities, unfortunately, you see a lot of candidates running for an office. So in Gary, even in East Chicago, you'll see one spot and 25 people running for it. Like, so the way to differentiate yourself amongst the masses of people running for these spots is to come up with a cool nickname.
See if it sticks. Well, we're going to follow him, see how they do.
Let's see how they do.
All right, so
I just, no offense to the hitman. I just don't want him to win. Just because
Yeah, I
of
just
the stupid
think it's a
nickname.
good
No
thing.
offense to the hitman. I don't know. He may be a wonderful gentleman. Okay. But like if you're using a hitman as a nickname, unless you're a boxer. Maybe he's a boxer.
Maybe
All right.
he's an actual hitman. You don't know that.
He could be, but you don't advertise that kind of stuff. Especially
If you're so good, maybe you do. Maybe you need the business.
you're like, I'm running for council at large, and I will kill people for you.
Allegedly. Ask Kevin,
right.
jump in there.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
I was going to name the show the Belgian Ambies, but now I'm thinking no offense to the hitman.
Yeah, that's good. I like that, John. Well, let's keep talking politics. We're just going to move it
I
up a
ran
couple
across
levels.
this yesterday. It's old news, sort of. No offense to anybody. And by the way, after this, we're going to do ads, and we're coming back with Matt Money Smith. For those of you that are fans of, Petros and Money Show, for those of you that are fans of the NFL, I want to hear from a play-by-play analyst that was there when the Chargers lost a playoff game, and what it was like flying back to California after that loss. It's a good interview, so hang around.
And I don't think this is necessary. I don't think, John. I don't think this is necessarily untimely because we're going to talk about President Trump. But yesterday he was reinstated by Meta, Facebook. So
good call.
He's kind of in the news.
But John already heard this. I hadn't heard this. I have TikTok, and my TikTok algorithm is politics and women dancing. So like I'll get a lot of dance videos, and then I'll get Donald Trump in the very next one.
Right.
That's pretty much my. And by the way, and skiing off of cliffs and
Nice.
stuff like that.
Skiing off of cliffs.
That's why I
Those
watch
are
TikTok so much.
Love it.
And if they outlaw it, I would be sad.
So as President Trump got reinstated off of Facebook, they mentioned that he's the risk to public safety is sufficiently receded since January 21. I don't know if I agree with that, but he's back on. He hasn't posted yet. Same thing with Twitter. Even though he's been reinstated by Elon Musk, he's stuck to Truth Social. He has not posted on Twitter yet. But Mayor Tom found this interesting TikTok video, which I thought was good too.
So we'll just basically this is it seems to me like it was before the runoff in Georgia. They had a runoff, remember?
For sure it was.
So it was after Election Day
Yep.
where Trump lost. Okay?
November 3rd.
And it was before the runoff. Like it sounds like within a few days before the runoff, Trump makes a phone call to the Secretary of State in Georgia.
Brad Raffensperger.
And in that phone call, Trump is breaking the law, in my opinion. Flat, blatantly breaking the law.
Yeah, so setting the stage, this is a couple-minute clip of a 1 hour and 9 minute call between... It was Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff, the President, three people on the President's legal team that were trying to help him with the election lawsuits that he filed, the many election lawsuits. And then on the other line is Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State of Georgia, along with one of his lawyers, Ryan Germany, and there's another lawyer on the phone.
And how you don't get arrested for this is beyond me. Even though you're the President of the United States, it's brutally blatant what he's trying to do. So let's go ahead and listen to it. It's a couple minutes long. So
Yeah, and finally, the reason why this is resurfaced is because for some reason Trump posted like yesterday about this perfect phone call.
the perfect phone
Which
call.
I
I don't know
why did he
why.
post that?
I have no clue.
Because he thinks the more he says it's the perfect phone call, that more people will believe it. But if all you have to do is push play, and you'll realize this is not a perfect phone call.
and I think there's still an investigation
John,
going
I don't
on
think
in
it works on
Georgia.
that link. I think that's just a screenshot, bro. Oh, is it?
No, I'm just
okay.
waiting for the.
He's the
guys to
producer.
finish.
All right, let's go.
This is why
People
we're
of
not
Georgia
winning.
are angry. The people of the country are angry, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. That you've recalculated.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
Now, do you think it's possible that they shredded ballots in Fulton County? Because that's what the rumor is. And also that Dominion took out machines. That Dominion is really moving fast to get rid of their machinery. Do you know anything about that? Because that's illegal.
This is Ryan, Germany. No, Dominion has not moved any machinery out of Fulton County. We're having.
Well, but have they moved? Have they moved the inner parts of the machines and replaced them with other parts?
No,
You sure, Ryan?
I'm sure.
You should want to have an accurate election. And you're a Republican.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have. Not even close. You're off by hundreds of thousands of votes. You know what they did, and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense. And you can't let that happen. That's a big risk to you and to Ryan, your lawyer. That's a big risk. But they are shredding ballots, in my opinion, based on what I've heard, and they are removing machinery, and they're moving it as fast as they can. both of which are criminal fines, and you can't let it happen, and you are letting it happen. I'm notifying you that you're letting it happen. So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
Mr. President, you have people that submit information, and we have our people that submit information, and then it comes before the court, and the court then has to make a determination. We have to stand by our numbers. We believe our numbers are right.
Well, under law, you're not allowed to give faulty election results, okay? You're not allowed to do that, and that's what you've done. This is a faulty election result. You would be respected, if this thing could be straightened out before the election. You have a big election coming up on Tuesday.
Damn.
Whoa. Pretty heavy-handed by the president.
If any normal person was this blatant, they would be indicted and in prison already, because this is a couple years ago. And by the way, this is the president of the United States. So when he says stuff like, I'm notifying, you're letting this happen. You know what they're doing. You're doing nothing about it. That's a criminal offense. Coming from the president of the United States, who's in charge of the Department of Justice. So like when a president of the United States that has a whole fleet of lawyers and FBI agents that will investigate you says, you're letting it happen, you're breaking the law, that's a criminal offense. That's a total threat. Absolutely. Like if Tom McDermott says that, not a threat, because I don't got it. I mean, Hammond PD can investigate you. You're talking about the president of the United States in charge of the Department of Justice telling these officials, find 11,780 votes. If not, it's a criminal offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, obviously the Department of Justice is an independent arm of the government, but I think that what we want to, if the president's saying something like that to you, it's got to freak you out, because you're like, oh my God, what do you know, I mean, and I give credit to those other guys on the call to stand up to him and to stand by what they did. I mean, and these are all, you got to remember, and that's the thing I find very interesting, and I've seen like the Speaker of the House in Arizona and these guys down in Georgia. I mean, these are all Republicans, and it goes to show you that some people put the republic and democracy above party, and I think that's important.
You sure, Ryan? You should want to have an election, an accurate election, and you're a Republican. What the hell does that have to do with anything? You're a Republican. Why is he saying that?
I think he's trying to imply that you should be putting party above the country.
He's like, I'm a Republican, you're a Republican, and a Democrat won. You need to do something about it. You need to find 11,780 votes. If not, it's a criminal offense.
It's really interesting.
That's a federal law.
If you want to listen to the whole call, I found a really good link on CNN that just has a link to the call. It's not like if you don't like CNN, it doesn't matter. It's just a link to the call with the transcript, which I found to be very interesting. It's an hour and 9 minutes if you want to listen to the whole thing.
So we're going to go ahead and do our second set of ads. And when we come back, we're going to be playing Matt Money Smith's interview, where we talk about college basketball. We talk about the aftermath of the Chargers' home loss during the playoffs. We talk about sharks and surfing. We talk about the homeless situation and harsh words from Matt Money Smith about the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. Matt is not a fan. So if you want to stay around, it's definitely worth it. I know there's lots of fans of Matt Money Smith out there, and he is going to be live right after we finish these ads. So let's go ahead and start off with Ron J. Pressemer Insurance Agency. It's been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all of your insurance needs. Ron J. Pressemer Insurance Agency specializes in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Pressemer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses in all of Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103.
Cantrell & Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give them a call and schedule your consultation today with someone who is in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Try Electronics. Tri-Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri-Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. They are dedicated to assisting their clients with their system integration needs. Tri-Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri-Electronics today at 1-800-722-6793. Well, here we are. We're off and running now. Let's go ahead and plug it in, John. I want to say thanks to everybody. Next coming up is an interview with Matt Money Smith. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're back on LockPod. We have our special guest in the studio now, Matt Money Smith. It's Kevin's famous younger brother. And, I know Matt's been on the show a few times, but it's been a while since I've been on him, right, Kev?
Yeah, I think we had Matt on maybe last season or the season before, but it was by Skype, right, Matt?
Yeah.
It's the first time I've been in a while.
Yeah. But the last time you were here, I was out, I believe, that day.
Yeah, no, that's right. We did it by Skype, though. He was not in town.
Gotcha,
So actually, we got lucky that Matt happened to be in town this weekend for – he's doing college basketball again now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, got a bunch of IU games. Got 4 IU games.
Big Ten Network?
No, radio.
Oh, yeah?
So, and then I'll be calling the Big Ten tournament, which is in Chicago this year, not Indy. So just right up the road.
Old school.
Yeah.
Did you miss that for a few years?
I missed it. Got back into it last year. Ended up doing the first 3 rounds from Indy, and then this year I'll do all the way through.
Awesome.
So,
Are they just rotating Chicago Indy now, or is there anybody else in the mix?
No, Chicago Indy.
Chicago Indy.
After the disaster that I was part of in D.C., it was just
really
Oh,
weird.
remember
was
Maryland
had
the host?
Maryland had that really good team, and then got bounced in the first round, and then nobody came.
Oh, no way.
Whereas in Indy or Chicago, you'll still get, whoever's alive, you've got people, whether it's Purdue or IU or Michigan State or Iowa.
Well, and
Maryland, there was nobody.
Chicago's got everybody.
Yeah.
There's an alumni for
exactly
what team.
So it should be great.
Good.
And there's so many good teams this year. Regardless, should ended up being a really good tournament.
I was thinking you were going to be busy for a long time this, during the playoffs.
You and me both.
For those that aren't aware, Matt is the analyst for the TV analyst for
radio play-by-play.
Radio play-by-play.
Yeah.
Excuse me, for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah,
and I'm finally getting used to saying Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, good.
I'm proud of myself.
It's been 6 years.
They're good, though. I mean, they were good this year.
They were up 27-0. I'm a guy that gets paid by the game, so I was.
You're already cashing your check for next week.
It was already that one was already cashed. With the heavy rains, I was like, babe, I know we got a leak in the roof, but I think this Jacksonville game's looking pretty good at 27-0. I think we got us covered. It's not as big of a deal.
That sucks.
That was
Yeah,
rough.
it does suck. It really sucks.
So, flying home after that game, was that pretty quiet plane? Or
Yes,
was it,
very. If anybody watches South Park, I looked like Kenny. I just took my hooded sweatshirt, I just cinched it, put my head down, and we didn't take off till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., so everybody was already, kind of predisposed to sleep. So
was it like a death kind of, like everybody?
Yeah, people were in disbelief, like how the hell did that happen? What just happened? How did that happen? This is one of the greatest collapses in the history of playoff football, and we're the ones that authored it. Holy crap.
You could tell in the third quarter. I was watching, obviously, and I was like, Marissa, you could tell there's something going on here.
You could see it getting away.
Oh, yeah. You could
What
tell.
do you think that, obviously, first half, second half, totally tale of two halves, right? But what do you think was if you could point to one thing, what was it?
Yeah, so it's never one thing, right? There's
right.
a lot of things that go into it, but I really did not like, and I was, normally I'll call it straight down the middle. It's not a real homer call. I mean, obviously it's Charger fans that are listening to the Charger radio broadcast, so you lean that way, but when they went it was a 3rd and half yard. It was a bad spot on the Keenan reception late in the first half. It was a first down.
Yeah.
But it's marked about a third of a yard short, so 3 feet. And on the season, Herbert's 9 of 9 on quarterback sneaks. In his life, he's 23 of 24 on quarterback sneaks. And, the thing about offensive play callers is every now and then they'll see something and they'll be like, ooh, I can catch him. I can catch him here for something. And not to draw this out too much for all the people listening, but so they lost their number 1 receiver the week before in Denver, Mike Williams. So now he's out. So now you've activated a guy from the practice squad, Michael Bandy, who's just like a in case of emergency break glass guy, right? He's not supposed to see any snaps.
Now he's in a playoff game.
DeAndre Carter rolls his ankle in the first half. So now Michael Bandy's in for DeAndre Carter, and he's playing 30, 40 snaps in this game. So for whatever reason, Joe Lombardi decides to call this speed sweep. It's an inside run to Josh Kelly. If Herbert doesn't like the look, he can kill the play to the speed sweep. So that's what happens. He gets to the line of scrimmage. He sees the alignment. He doesn't like it for Josh Kelly. He kills it. Bandy, who never plays, has no idea what's going on. He just knows he's supposed to run the motion. And when Herbert goes to hand him the ball, he's not even looking for it. It just ricochets off his chest. Yeah. But the call shouldn't have even been made. So it should have just been a sneak. They get the first down, guaranteed, because they've gotten it every single time, save one in 24 tries over 3 years. I'll take those odds. And then they go into the half up 27-0, and the Jaguars have nothing. They have nothing positive from that half. 4 interceptions, a muffed punt, 27-0. Like, there is nothing for them to point to that went well.
And instead they get
they get a touchdown.
The 97-yard touchdown.
And they went, it's kind of like hot knife through butter on that touchdown. And now you have some momentum. You know, you're like, okay, look, 3 scores is not a lot. 20 points is not a lot in the NFL.
Not a half.
So
with Tyler Lawrence.
Yeah, so now you've got that. And then the second half, the offense did nothing. They couldn't sustain drives. They couldn't run the ball, you know, and you have to run the ball when you're trying to run a 4-minute offense. And defense started playing the clock.
God,
they started playing soft.
Notre Dame does that all the time.
Yeah.
When you're up big and they're like, you know, we just got to like
just
prevent the big play.
Yeah, sustain drives.
So you're just giving up 10 yards every play, you know,
and
march right downfield.
Yeah.
And it got away from them, you know, and it's rough, man. It's because that team was set up to make a run. Everybody got healthy. Rashawn Slater was going to be back this week. To solidify that offensive line, and it was feeling like, holy cow, this team could really do it.
So, like, how free are you to, you know, because you work for the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
So, are you given free authority to criticize as you see fit, or
I think,
do you feel like
without malice,
right?
You know, like you can't be an a-hole about it, but like I still remember my call, you know, because in the moment. You know, I'm setting up the alignment. Herbert under center. We're talking about the numbers. 9 for 9 this season. Get this first down. The Jags still have 3 timeouts, but you feel pretty good about getting this thing down inside a minute. And Doug's probably not going to let Trevor Lawrence cut loose. We'll go into the half up 20. And all of a sudden, I see the motion, and I know the play because I've seen the play all year. It's been run a handful of times. And when we looked it up, that particular play with DeAndre Carter was run 4 times. For negative 21 yards.
Wow.
So as soon as I see it coming, I'm saying to myself, this isn't happening. This is not, you know, all in those couple seconds. And as soon as he hiked the ball and he turned to hand it to Bandy, I just said, what are we doing?
Oh, no.
What are we doing? That's the exact call I had. And then
well, I mean, it shows you got your heart in it a bit. I mean, I know you care about the team.
Yeah, when we listen to the Cubs, they're homers. I mean,
sure.
And by the way, like I like it when they criticize too.
I like when the home team call. Number one, I like the home team call anyway, and number two, I like it when they are critical of them because you feel like they know
because you're critical as a fan.
That's
so
right.
like you want to hear the person.
You're yelling in your car,
right? So it's almost like they confirm your feelings, you know.
Right.
See if I can find the. Because you know when you call a game like that,
you got to keep
your
that.
phone's
people want to people want to find your call. They're like,
right.
Oh my gosh, we got to find the home call on this and see, you know, what it sounded like when Riley Patterson is lining up that field goal, and so it ended up, you know, kind of getting pretty viral because they wanted to hear how freaking miserable I was. Let me see if I can find it.
So you've been with the Chargers now
since they've been in LA. So this was my 6th year.
Obviously, you've seen this team like build up a lot. I remember when you were talking when they were going to draft Herbert. You and I were talking about it, and you were really excited about it.
Yeah. So
because you were close to what was the last quarterback?
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, you were really close to him.
I mean, you know, relative. I try to keep my distance. I don't like having a relationship with guys just because then it's awkward if you are. Plus, I do a radio show in LA 4 hours a day, so it's like. That's the last thing.
Gotcha. You don't want to feel like
exactly
you can't be honest, right?
That I need. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys like I get along well with, you know, maybe 3 to 5 of the players. Like where, you know, we have, and not some of them are stars, some of them aren't. Like Chris Rump, the second-year defensive end out of Duke, is just a really nice guy. Slater from Northwestern, the left tackle, super good guy. You know, Joey Bosa and I and Keenan Allen and I, they've been here since I've been here, so we go way back. Derwin's just the greatest guy ever.
You got Khalil Mack too, right?
Khalil, who's very quiet,
really?
but very by all accounts, everybody that I've talked to has said just a super good dude.
Is he
all
like
business.
still as dominant as he's always been, or is he
He,
just getting older?
He's yes and no. Like, he doesn't have that same burst off the edge that he had in his prime, but he's still a really good, physical, strong. You have the game plan.
I'm trying to think of some Irish guys. I got Tranquil.
Yeah, well, they used to
Tranquil, I'm close with. He's a really
he was
good
great,
dude. He's going to get paid this year.
He's a safety, right?
He's
He converted safety, middle linebacker.
Yeah, he's middle
so he's their
linebacker.
green dot.
And
which
then you
means
had Tillery also, right? I love Jerry Tillery. He was a great.
that makes one of us.
Really? I don't know him. Obviously, I met him one time. Really?
Just
I met him
yeah.
one time.
Well, they released him. He's a first-round pick. They released.
Right. I noticed that.
Yeah, just and
he
it's funny,
playing?
like things like this, because I travel with the team, so like I got to know his dad a little bit. Dad's the nicest guy, so I would drink beers in the lobby bar with his dad night before games and stuff, and we would shoot it. But Tiller's just a very strange guy.
Really? Is he still playing? Or?
Yeah, he got picked up by the Raiders, but could not play the run to save his life. Just could not figure it out.
Wow.
You just see guys run right by him like it was nothing. Was just constantly pinning his ears back and trying to get upfield.
So how does a team, like, obviously it's now your postseason, so a team that has to recover from that kind of loss, right? Not easy, but obviously you got to get over it and get on and start thinking about next season. I mean, the Chargers are still a real good team. There's obviously going to be some personnel changes. I mean, what's the kind of the party line or the team line now, coming out of Charger?
They fired their offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi.
Yeah, really?
They fired their quarterback coach, Shane Day.
Wow.
They fired their linebackers coach, Mike Wilhoit. So they're, and I think
they were spending their checks too, Matt.
The blood spilled.
Yeah, they're like, honey, freeze all spending.
So I think kind of like, the thing with the team is, there was this group of teams, right, that was bunched at the back at the wild card spots. They were all even. The Chargers were 6-6. The Jets were ahead of them. The Patriots were ahead of them. The Dolphins were ahead of them. The Raiders were right behind them. Like, all of those teams were together, and the Chargers were the only ones that got it right. They went on a win streak. They won 4 games in a row. They locked up a playoff spot on Christmas, the day after Christmas in Indianapolis with that win, and everybody else fell off. So I think because of that, they were like, okay, you know what? We had a crap ton of injuries this year. Brandon Staley was able to kind of keep everybody focused and tread water until they started getting healthy. And then they were able to go on this run and felt pretty good. And, they were up 27-0 in a playoff game in the first half and feeling really good about where they were going. And then, they, you also preside over one of the greatest collapses in playoff history. And someone's going to have to pay for that. And I think the lack of a run game in the 2 years that Joe's been the OC, the inability for the team. I mean, the team only scored 3 points in the second half. They score a touchdown, they win that game. If they just score a touchdown,
I think you and I got to get out to SoFi. John.
Yeah,
love that. We're going to roll out that.
All right, you want to hear the call?
We'll come out there. Yeah, I'd love to hear the call.
All right, here we go.
This
is what it sounds like when you get to call a loss after being up 27-0.
More timeouts left. This is the game. This is the season for one of these teams. 30-28. Snap. Kick is up. Kick is good. The Chargers are out of the playoffs. Pandemonium at TIAA Bank Stadium. This is going to be a long flight home, a long off season, and absolutely inexplicable. There are no words to describe what we witnessed here tonight. The Chargers in complete control of this game at 27-0 somehow find a way to snatch defeat from the hands of victory.
Yeah.
We'll be back, unfortunately, to break it all down. 31-30 Jaguars.
Well, hopefully you don't have to do that again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rough.
People
man.
like the we'll be back to break it down, unfortunately.
Matt,
I was like, ugh.
you know what's crazy? I know you pretty well, and if I just flipped through, I don't think I would have recognized your voice.
Yeah.
I reckon
On a
normally,
game?
but that's like on a football. I don't think I would have recognized your voice. But on basketball, do you change your voice for that?
No.
Or?
No,
Really?
I think it's
That's
just
crazy.
because you're pushing it because there's so much noise.
Oh, gotcha.
And, we're in an open
Because
booth.
you were playing it, I was like, "Is that you?"
Yeah.
Like,
So I think it's because there's so much noise, you got to push it a little bit harder. So maybe the voice goes up a
Gotcha,
little bit
gotcha.
because you're kind of not screaming, but you gotta yell because there's all that ambient noise behind you. You got to push through.
Hey, I'm worried about you, man. Can I bring something up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we switching gears?
Yeah, we're switching gears here real quick, if you don't mind.
It's all good.
One of TikTok. I'm on TikTok a lot, and one of the things I realize is I'm scared of sharks, and I always see shark attacks all over. Like, it's just one of the things about my algorithm. It's weird.
Always. Oh, you mean you always see shark attack videos?
No, it's like I'll flip through TikTok,
'cause
and
there's
it's like
5 a year in the world.
Yeah, right. And then like a dude missing his arm, talking about how he got attacked. And I know you've been surfing a lot, and I always think about. Do you ever think about that when you're out there?
Yeah, but it doesn't. It truly doesn't. Like, this is going to sound really strange, and I mean it sincerely. Like, I would rather have encounters with sharks than rays. So we have a lot of rays where I live, and rays are a nightmare because just when you walk in the water, or if it's a lower tide, when you kind of hop off your board, you hit the sand, and if you pop the back of a ray, it'll sting you, and it sucks. And I've been stung a couple times. I actually just had one that was really bad. I had to get surgery to scoop out the necrosis because it got me really good. So sharks like to eat rays. So I welcome sharks. It's like you get juvenile great whites, and they'll kind of come into where we surf, and
Get
they'll
the
just
hell out of here.
and they'll just eat up
You
all the
see that?
rays. Do I see them? No. I've only I've been surfing pretty much every day for like 2 years now, and I've only seen a shark twice, and nowhere near me in the distance. I see dolphin. Like I joke, I'm kind of like a dolphin whisperer. I get dolphins by me all the time.
That's cool.
Like right next to me, pups will be playing. Mom and dad will kind of come between me and the pups and make sure it's cool. And
That's awesome.
It's the best. It's the greatest thing
is
ever.
awesome.
But yeah, sharks. I saw one that was being really aggressive, and that was a little freaky. I was surfing a spot called Anderson, and just kind of sitting on my board looking toward the swell, and I just saw a shark breach and then come back down. And I was like, that shark's kind of hungry. It's looking for something to eat, clearly. So that was kind of weird.
Gonna hit the bike.
But I go down to San Onofre a lot, and there's always sharks down there.
One of the things you and Tom have in common, obviously, is California.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, season 8, we've had some serious California talk.
We have, because we did right after my election. We took a trip out to San Diego. John and I, Kevin didn't go actually on this one, and the purpose was Elton John was playing in San Diego. I know he played in LA right after there, so we wanted to catch him, and it was in San Diego, and I love San Diego.
It's the best.
So we fly out there, and I've been to San Diego over the last, let's say, 6 or 7 years, probably 3 or 4 times, and each time I go, it's progressively worse with the homeless. Matt, I couldn't freaking believe it on my last trip.
Yeah.
It's a different city. It's in the gas state. I'm telling you, man, it's shocking to me.
How long you been out? You've been in California?
31
years. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only spent 18 years there, but it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
So in the 70s and 80s, and it's a completely different state.
Yeah, it started in San Francisco is where it started getting really bad, where you would have these encampments, and homeless people would just set up.
On the sidewalks.
On the sidewalks, on bridges, on the beach, in front of businesses, in parks. And they would kind of get this mass of homeless people that you couldn't move. And
why couldn't you? Because the local authorities were unwilling.
Cell phones. I think it's
really they're afraid of what the optics.
I think that's what it is. It's just the optics. It's I'm staring at the sign that says left of center, but I just think there's certain agendas that are pushed on social media, and that's one of them is authority taking advantage. That's the idea of the film, right? Hey, here is the man taking advantage of the helpless, and it's led to police just deciding it's not worth it for us.
I think it's also led to elected officials not having the backbone to say we're not going to have this here, and we got to take care of it because they don't want to be criticized once their police are criticized because it's just going to go right up the ladder to City Hall.
Yeah, I mean, in my issue, and this is something that I think if you're in any sort of, for you guys, you're in the public life, I'm in a job that's in the public eye, and social media is not real life.
I agree with you.
The things that people say about me and what they try to portray, the way I construed an argument or a conversation. I do a 4-hour show every day on the radio. You can imagine the kind of crap we get into.
Oh, yeah.
So, like the way that they'll portray you as a homophobe, a racist, a bigot.
And they just take a snippet of something that's totally out of context.
So, and you see it as mayor, too, all the time. I mean, you get characterized as...
I am, totally off social media for the most part. I put the show out there I'll put stuff I want people to read out there. I don't read shit.
Never read your comments.
Never.
But
oh no.
But I think the problem is, like for us, that works. But I think too many people think it is real life.
I agree with
and
you.
it is, and so I think that's a big part of it. So I have friends that are police officers. Seal Beach Police is incredible. They really are. They're as good a police force as there is in Orange County. I would highly recommend for that everybody follow their Instagram page. It is freaking hilarious. Like they are so, and they really
Seal
don't.
Beach?
Yeah, they don't give two Fs. They will have videos of guys getting arrested for stealing catalytic converters, and it'll be like, this is Mario and Juan. They decided to come to Seal Beach to steal catalytic converters.
I love that.
How's it going for them? And they're just sitting on the curb with their hands behind their back. Like,
I'm taking that.
You should follow them.
Where is this on Twitter?
It's really, what's that?
John,
Is it on Twitter?
John, this is going to be resurrected.
Instagram is better. Their Instagram page is
solid,
exceptional.
So
it's really
so
good.
how does Seal Beach? And you've been in Seal Beach for how long now? 5 years?
Three. This is year 4.
All right.
So, but the general area where I lived before Los Alamitos is still Seal Beach. So it's all this general area for almost 20 years.
So how does, I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's homeless people in Seal Beach, or there try to be. So how do they deal with them there?
Well, I think so. Here's what's interesting, right? Like I've gotten to know a couple of the homeless people in Seal Beach, and they're nice.
Right.
They're this one guy that I chat with. He's just very matter of fact about it. He's like, look, man, I get a check from the state. He goes, I can either spend it on rent. He goes, or I'm living on the beach. I love to read.
Wow.
He goes, I sit around and I read, and I've got enough money for food. He goes, it never gets that cold. He's like, and I try to just be real friendly and stay out of people's way. I pack up in the morning, so I'm not in the park when kids are playing and people are around, and I just kind of walk around, and then at night I just come set up and hang out.
Get the hell
and like,
out of here.
so he's cool. He's like,
Right.
it's like
but
whatever.
Still, like that's the American dream.
So the problem is, like, what we're really kind of running into is people are now. There's now encampments on the river. The San Gabriel River splits Long Beach and Seal Beach and feeds into the Pacific Ocean, and they've become they have started to set up encampments there. And so, I mean, I don't know exactly what the Seal Beach Police does, but there's none on our side, and there's a lot on the Long Beach side.
See, but I'll be honest, that's the Hammond Police know, and Mother Nature helps us here with homelessness because nobody, the gentleman you're talking about in Seal Beach,
he can't do that here.
He would not want to live here like that.
So here's a good example. There was someone that I did not like at all, a homeless woman that would just smoke all day and drink out of a brown paper bag, and she took over. There's an ice cream store on the corner of Main and Ocean, a Cold Stone. And so there's always families, moms, dads, grandmas taking their grandkids and stuff. And there's these benches out front where you go and you get your ice cream. You sit on the bench and you eat your ice cream. And the pier's right there and you're watching the waves and it's beautiful. So this woman took over these 2 benches and police repeatedly tried to get her to move. Like, hey, let's find a better spot for you. This is where kids hang out, And about a week after she wouldn't move, all of a sudden I just was walking the dog one morning and the benches were gone. Yeah, there you go.
Wow, that'll do it.
That's
Good
how you
solution,
solve that
right?
problem.
Hey, there's a lot of talk in politics, especially in the party. There's a segment of Democrats that think realistically that Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, is going to run in a primary against Joe Biden and possibly beat him. And quite frankly, I don't think it's going to be that hard to beat Joe Biden if we ran a serious candidate. And if Gavin Newsom did do that, I personally think he would beat Biden in a primary. He said he wouldn't do it. You're a California resident. You've been there most of your life now. What do you think about that?
He's got nice hair.
He does. I mean, we have a similar hairstyle.
He,
I appreciate that.
I could not dislike a politician more.
Really?
He's ruined our state.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, completely.
Do you think he's a smart guy or just?
No, I don't think he's a smart guy.
Really?
I think he's a total haircut.
And so you've met him, I imagine.
No, I mean I've been in his presence, but I've never met him. I've never had a conversation with him. He ruined San Francisco. He was the mayor of San Francisco, and that's where this all started. That's where all these encampments started. I mean,
You're right.
Destroyed that city. I don't know if you saw the viral video that just went around. Like, this is a perfect example of it, right? So there's a business owner in San Francisco, and a video circulates of him shooting a hose at this homeless woman. I don't know if you saw it.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
So, John, you saw it?
Yep.
So this guy's been vilified, vandalized his art gallery, and if you don't watch the 7-second video of him spraying a hose in her face, he tells you this woman has been homeless for 2 months in front of my gallery. I have fed her. I have given her shelter.
Wow.
And I have asked her repeatedly to please move, that it affects my business. He goes, I've been nothing but generous and kind to this woman. I've researched homeless shelters saying, hey, there's an opening here. Can I take you there? He goes, on this day, she picked up all of the garbage cans, dumped them into my entryway, and when I said, can you please move, she spit in my face.
Wow.
He said, and so I reached my breaking point.
Yep.
And what do we get? We get a 7-second video of this guy saying, look at this asshole.
Yeah, right.
Can you believe this guy? These are the people that live in San Francisco.
Right.
And that's the problem. You know, now I'm not condoning hosing this old woman, but at the same time, he's like, I finally I lost it.
Yeah.
I reached my breaking point.
It really does.
The art gallery owner says
it's a tough situation.
It's a problem.
I mean, I think that we need elected officials that are willing to lose their job. And
well, I think
there's things
you got to do something before it gets out of control.
Well, agree.
And then, but once it gets out of control,
and it's been out of control.
Now you don't even have the ability probably to really deal with it. I mean, we did talk about Walton's idea in San Diego,
to
move them to
a military base.
200 acres on the military base.
It was 2,000 acres, Kevin.
Was it
2,000 acres?
Yeah, the problem is they won't go. They don't want to go.
But they'd rather be in the gas lamp district.
They'd rather be homeless, shooting their smack, and cashing their state check, their welfare check, and
probably
hanging out with their buddies.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to do. You know, if you go into the shelter, you've got to go through a reassimilation program, and let's get you into some sort of work study and try to get some
got to be
usable
clean.
skills, and
Yeah,
you have to be clean. And they're like, "That's not what you want,
right?
You want to be out here,
Getting
happy, get high,
read my book,
exactly, and crap in a bucket." And the problem is,
you're lucky if they're going in a bucket.
Yeah, well, that's crap in a bucket. Throw it on people that are walking by. Like we just had a girl. Get stabbed to death. Trying to think if it was Long Beach. Long Beach, I want to say Long Beach has had 2 murders.
Jeez.
We had one up in West L.A. where a guy got off the bus. Guy's working hard, punching the clock, takes the bus to work, has a family at home, gets off the bus late at night, at like 11:30. It's just walking to his house underneath the freeway overpass, stabbed to death. Crazy homeless person.
Jesus, man.
And like that's
crazy.
That's the problem,
It is a problem.
And
it is.
And it's like that. Like this encapsulates California, and this is. And look, I love California. Obviously, I've lived there for 31 years. I love it. It's paradise on earth for me.
It's government that screwed everything up.
It's the worst governed state. I guess Illinois could give it a run for its money, but it's a real ding dong. Of a horse race between those two states of who's worse. It's but so we've had this incredible drought. Right?
Yeah.
Just this unbelievable drought for the last 3 years, in Central California until last month. So we got all of this rain, and Gavin Newsom, just typical Gavin Newsom, we really got to look harder into figuring out how to capture this water. It's like this. I've lived here for 31 years. For 31 years, we've been talking about the drought, and you're still saying we need to figure this out. On top of all of that, again, California. The first heavy rainfall, they're not allowed to store the water. They have to, I don't know the exact particulars, so forgive me if I'm just kind of summarizing and I get some of this wrong. But the idea is they can't run the pumps to save it and to capture it because there is a particular fish, a smelt, for people here in the region that can relate to that.
Yeah, love smelt.
That is endangered and almost extinct. And if you pump into these reservoirs, it will suck all the smelt into this, and that is a danger. So this last rain, 95% of the water was shoved into the ocean.
Wow.
Because of this endangered fish.
See what we get when we get mad in for the little California perspective.
Well, the thing is, honestly, I didn't mean to cut you off, John. When I go home, I went back home for a funeral right after the election, Matt. And right after San Diego, I flew back home to Napa, and I grew up in a Democratic area, okay, straight up. Like hardworking blue-collar Democrats. When I go back to Napa now, those same hardworking blue-collar Democrats are Trump Republicans now. And they talk about the stuff that you're talking about, Matt.
Yeah.
And they talk about Gavin Newsom, and they talk about the state. And I tell you, I see it with my own eyes. I'm like, holy shit, what happened to this state? What's going on here? Like, I get it in snapshots every 5 years. I'm like, what the hell?
They, the Democrat, and look, I'm an independent. I don't mean this to you personally.
No,
Obviously,
I know that.
I love you, but I just don't like politicians. I never have.
I'm different.
You are different.
I got high on TV. I don't know if you saw that.
I know, and I appreciate that. I get high all the time. So, yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know how I feel about you, but I think, the problem is in our state, I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? We're supposed to be the conscious party. We're supposed to be the party that the state that leads the way in caring about everybody and not being out for themselves, but willing to take the hit for the greater good. We're going to have these high gas taxes to encourage people to get electric cars, and we're going to do these giant rebates on solar to encourage people to put solar on their house, and we're going to tax the hell out of people property tax wise so we can take all that money and we can ship it into the inner cities and have better public schools. It doesn't work. I have solar on my house, and I have to pay a premium on my electric because they say I need to pump money into the grid or else the grid won't function. Like, even though I'm a net negative,
right?
I
don't need the grid.
I paid $4,000 in electric last year, just a bill for $4,000
for not even
just to be hooked
as a
up.
supplement. Yeah,
and I'm like, what? And then
you should have them disconnect you. Just disconnect me.
Yes, I don't want to be on the grid.
I'm on my own island here.
Off the grid.
Right. So I get the electric car. I drive an electric car. I've got a Ford Mach-E. And you know what my registration is? $790 to register my car because they need the money so
you
they
don't pay
can get
gas.
the taxes because
That's
I
right.
don't buy
It's
gas.
like they get you some way.
Well, that's right. Because when you think about all of our gas tax, there's money built into that goes back to the roads.
Exactly.
And they were bitching for a long time about people with electric cars not contributing to the roads.
And
that's how they get you.
And
right?
look, I have some of my closest friends are cops and firefighters, truly, like very, very good friends of mine. To see how they live, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It is incredible. They live better than I do, and I make a really good living.
Right.
And they have houses on the river, and they've got nice cars. And I'm like, what is the deal? And he's like, full pension, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Full pension.
That's
and
true.
you can supplement it. It's not an offset.
What do you
it's
mean? Straight money.
Straight money. You
Yeah.
still get your full pension. And so what they do is they'll retire early.
I don't criticize pensions, though.
And then they'll,
I wish I had a pension.
So they retire early, they get their full pension, and then they go get another job.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In 4 years, I get a pension.
They're like, I don't have to save. I don't have to save a cent.
Wow.
My kids'
I hit
school's
85.
paid for.
I hit 85 in 4 years.
Damn.
It's
Roll
Been
of
mayor,
85.
been mayor too long. Man.
But I got 4 years credit for being public defender.
That's right.
So
That's
I got
nice.
28 years,
you.
and I'll be 57
You're a
years old.
retire. You're a pensioner.
Then I'm going to go off and get another job.
That's it.
See what I mean?
I'll be one of those guys.
You'll
Well,
be
listen.
a consultant.
We've gone a while, and I know this is going to be. Matt's got to get back down to the game. We
Yeah.
got to get onto our whatever we're doing the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So thanks for
But
coming in.
thanks for
good
popping
luck.
in,
Good
Matt.
luck calling the IU games. That's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Get
Why
us some
don't you
tickets,
run? Why
man.
don't you freaking run for president?
I should.
You should.
I just said, I don't like Biden.
I mean, hell,
Biden fucked
freaking
me.
Mayor Pete could get some traction. Why the hell can't you?
Look at Mayor Pete. He was under fire, too, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's pissed off. I
Yeah.
missed my airplane. I didn't get mad at Mayor Pete.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I will.
Oh, yeah, exactly. For not putting the hammer
I'll be
down,
the center alternative. Center forward.
100%.
Let's go.
Conscription.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
That's my platform.
I like it. I like
get
it.
these kids into shape. Freaking, I want them for 2 years like
Dude.
Israel. Give me 2 years,
I
18 to 20.
I love the way you're talking. You and I are on the same page.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. I'm announcing my
Conscription.
presidency right
Let's
now.
go.
I'm running
Time
for president. Is that the magic
locomotive
word?
for
I'm in.
president?
I am running for president.
No,
I'm
don't
announcing.
get-
Whoa,
don't give- don't give the
whoa.
magic words.
I
We don't
didn't
have
say
a-
president of what. It could
Okay,
be,
good.
It could be a company.
President of Lockpod.
President of Lockpod.
There you go.
All right.
All
Thanks
right.
for coming by, Matt. Money.
Absolutely.
It's great. Where can we find you again?
Compass Media Network for the Big Ten stuff, and then iHeartRadio app for the radio show, Petros and Money.
Thanks.
What about your
podcast.
Twitter handle?
Twitter, I barely use Twitter. I hate it too much now.
It's right wing now, man.
it's-
Elon Musk. John loves it.
What do you use?
not right
Instagram,
wing.
It's
Twitter.
not right
I love
wing.
Instagram.
Instagram.
I love Instagram. Makes me happy. It's Instagram.
I like TikTok.
TikTok.
You
I
can
like
learn a lot
TikTok.
about. I looked at your brother's TikTok feed. It was pretty comical.
Is that right?
That's how you get to know
It's a
somebody.
lot of cats and fat.
A
people.
lot of cats. I'm like, what the fuck, Kevin? You
I
got
have no
cats?
idea. I don't think
It's
I
like
use it
cats.
enough.
I'm like, what the hell? You look at mine, it's like
It's
women
getting better,
dancing.
though.
You
It's
look at
getting
Kevin's,
better.
it's like cats. It's like, what
Mine's
the fuck?
getting better.
Yeah.
Tom's is women dancing in shark attacks.
Yeah. It's missing torso.
Exactly. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah.
You got to follow Scott Fairchild.
All right.
That's one of the great Instagram feeds for sharks. He's a
Oh,
really,
no way.
There you go.
See?
It's
All
actually
right.
funny. It's funny you
I
mentioned
can't wait
that.
till Shark Week.
I'm
So-
actually flying to Mexico in I don't know, like 3 weeks with a guy. I might be narrating his documentary. He's a Save the Shark guy. Where you
Awesome.
can adopt sharks.
You got to
and
get
stuff,
down there,
and,
Tom.
Love it.
So I'll probably go.
I want to go
swimming
dive
with
in.
them and
I would love
cruising
that.
with them. Yeah,
I would. Somebody asked me, would you ever go in a shark cage? And I was like, absolutely.
100%.
why not?
No doubt
No, I think
about
this is
it.
free diving with them.
Let's go. I
Oh
don't know
my
about that
gosh.
one.
Yeah.
I'm more a shark cage guy. So, Matt Money Smith, thanks again. John Vesmar, thanks for a great show. We appreciate everybody listening. Kevin Chandler, thanks a lot. And Matt Money Smith back in the studio again.
Yeah.
It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
Congratulations on everything, and looking forward to hearing you on the games. And
Thank you.
thanks everybody for listening. We're going to be back on Tuesday with a special guest. So talk to you on Tuesday, everybody. Thanks, everybody.